I am treasured, I am strong, I am agency where I belong. I am fearless, I am brave, I am the one who my soul can save. I am grounded, I am whole, I am the keeper of my own soul. I am beautiful, I am kind, I am grateful with a clear mind. I am creative, I am great, I am focused, never late. I am resilient, I am calm, I am peaceful, life's a song. I am intelligent, I am wise, I am unstoppable, watch me rise. I am fly as hell, I am dope, I am supported, filled with hope. I am wealthy, I am patient, I am balanced in alignment. I am assertive, I am sure, I am protected, I endure. I am amazing, I am strong, I am joyful where I belong. I am unique, I am loved, I am guided from above.
Welcome, welcome, welcome all to the seventh annual Black Student Success Week. My name is Herb English. I serve as the Dean of Counseling and Specially Funded Programs at Riverside City College. Shout out to Riverside City College, all my students in the homeroom. Want to make sure that y'all are tuned in. Next, I'd like to introduce our hosts for this week. First, we have Dr. Pilar Huffman from Compton College. Next, we have Mr. Carl Kemp from Long Beach City College. And then next, my partner in positive change, Dr. Helen Young. Give it
Good
up for our
afternoon.
host.
Good afternoon.
Give it up for our host. This year's theme is revolution, redefining Black student success. Revolution means reclamation, redesign, and a redistribution of power. Reclamation, history, and narrative ownership. Redesign, systems reconstruction. Redistribution of power, policy, economics, and data control. Black Student Success Week 2026 moves from institutional designation of BSIs to overall structural transformation. BSIs and other approaches to servingness are about reclaiming power through policy, economic mobility, instructional redesign, a basic needs infrastructure, and data ownership. Beyond the days of incremental reform, Black Student Success Week calls for a deliberate redefinition of who higher education serves, how it serves, and who controls the narrative of Black Student Success Week. We have a packed agenda for the first day, and now I'm going to pass it to Dr. Helen Young to introduce our opening speakers.
Thank you, Brother Herb, Dr. Herb English. Appreciate that. We are excited to kick this week off with a dynamic opening speaker. This is Dr. Darion Pollard, named President and CEO of the American Association of Community Colleges in July of 2025, something we don't take lightly as a Black woman in this position. Her passion for higher education has driven her leadership in several roles, most recently as the president of Nevada State University Montgomery College and Los Positos College. Dr. Pollard was named one of Washington's 100 most powerful women by Washington Magazine, won a 2017 Academic Leadership Award from the Carnegie Corporation of New York. She a bad woman, y'all. And a Visionary Award from the Washington Area Women's Foundation. I want to be her when I grow up. She holds a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in English from Iowa State University and a PhD in Educational Leadership and Policy Studies in Higher Education from Loyola University, Chicago. Please help me welcome Dr. Darian Pollard.
Thank you, my sister, so much. I'm so honored to be here. Most importantly, I thank you for that gracious introduction. You are me already, and I am you. And that's the beautiful part about this journey that we're on together. It's an honor for me to be here and joining this group for the Black Student Success Week. And I want to begin by thanking all of the organizers for their leadership, their vision, their persistence, just the whole vibe we have even stepping into this space today. This convening is a powerful national model, one that brings together presidents, faculty, staff, students, and policy leaders and researchers around a shared commitment to Black student success, not as an aspiration, but as an institutional responsibility. I'm especially grateful for the thoughtfulness of this week's programming and for the opportunity to engage with such an extraordinary group of speakers and partners. I won't mention all of them, but I'm closely familiar with the work of Nicole Smith from Georgetown University Center on Education and Workforce, and the incomparable Sarah Gojic-Robb, whose real college work on basic needs insecurity approaches its 10th year anniversary, who I believe is really the godmother of the work that we do around basic needs insecurity. Their work elevates this conversation and grounds it in evidence, urgency, and action. Their scholarship has reshaped how higher education understands equity, affordability, and student persistence, and their voices are essential in this moment. Now, for those of you I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, I'm Darian. At the end of the day, I'm a little brown girl from the south side of Chicago who is just eating her catfish and spaghetti for lunch today, leftovers. And I'm a proud president and CEO of the American Association of Community Colleges. But I will tell you on a more personal aspect, California is not just a professional touchstone for me, it is personal. I spent important years of my career in California working alongside community college leaders who understood early on what the rest of the country is now recognizing, that colleges rooted in their communities, responsive to students' lived experiences, and committed to the realities of the modern era are essential to economic mobility and democracy itself. My connection to community colleges is also deeply familial. Community colleges shaped the trajectory of my family. They were places of second chances, of discovery, of belonging, and of transfer. That lived experience informs everything that I do, and it is why I believe so deeply in the mission you carry forward today. Some of my earliest memories are from a community college where my mother and later my aunt attended. This picture that you see here is literally the only picture I have of my family. And it's important to me because it captures dreams, it captures realities, and most importantly, it reminds me of exactly why I choose to do this work each and every day. I grew up on the walls and the hallways of Prairie State College, where I sat there where my aunt took classes, or where my first and earliest memory is clapping cymbals at Kennedy King College. It is not lost on me that the primary purpose of my career has been in the nation's community colleges. It is because of this picture and those experiences that shape who I am. Today, I'm especially honored to be with presidents and leaders, many of whose institutions have been designated as California Black Serving Institutions under SB 1348. This designation matters. It acknowledges that something that we already know, that serving Black students well requires intentionality, accountability, and sustained investment. It affirms that excellence and equity are not competing goals, they are inseparable. In fact, the president of the Brookings Institute in Washington, D.C. was my guest recently for a discussion of the historic impact of community colleges on our nation's trajectory. And as an economist, she has documented the productive economic impact our colleges have on work and mobility. And she was very clear in talking about the potency of our institutions. At AACC, that same belief is embedded in our newly launched strategic compass, which I will share very briefly, but I encourage you to explore in more detail on the AACC website. Some of you may have heard my comments about these in Seattle just last week, and I hope that you might see the compass and see it as a part of a map to some of your own visions, data collection, and strategic planning to this organization schema. AACC stands ready to assist however we can do so. Because this compass is not just a checklist. It is a shared directional orientation. It centers community colleges as engines of opportunity, democracy, and economic vitality, guided by moral clarity about who we serve and why. At its core is an unambiguous commitment to student success for every learner at every community college without exception. That includes Black students. It includes first-generation students. It includes working adults. It includes parenting students. It includes students navigating food and housing insecurity. It includes students whose ultimate goal is transfer. The HBCU transfer opportunities in California are extraordinary. So I hope that your students are encouraged to take full advantage of them. And students, if you're here, I hope that you understand what this pathway is there. Transfer is not a peripheral to equity. It is foundational to it. For far too long, Black students have been overrepresented in access and underrepresented in completion and transfer outcomes. Community colleges, especially Black serving institutions, are uniquely positioned to change the narrative. Transfer pathways are clear, aligned, well-advised, and fully resourced. If we do this well, they can be some of the most powerful equity strategies that we have. When transfer works, mobility works, democracy works, and families and communities thrive. To the students who are joining you today, I love seeing the watch parties. Know this, your presence matters. Your voice matters, and your success is not optional. Every conversation happening this week, every policy idea discussed, every data point shared must ultimately transfer and translate into stronger supports, clearer pathways, and better outcomes for you. And to the presidents and campus leaders participating throughout this week, thank you for showing up at a pivotal national moment for our nation's community colleges. Enrollment pressures, workforce transformation, public skepticism, financial insecurity, these challenges are real, but so is this truth. There has never been a time more important for community colleges to lead with courage, clarity, and conviction. What California is doing through SB 1348, naming Black serving institutions and aligning policy with purpose, offers a roadmap for the nation. It moves us beyond rhetoric toward responsibility. Black Student Success Week reminds us that progress happens when leadership is collaborative, data-informed, student-centered, and bold. When presidents lean in, when faculty innovate, when policymakers listen, and when students are not supported only, but believed in. So let me close you with this. At AACC, we stand with you. We're committed to advancing policies, partnerships, and narratives that strengthen community colleges and expand opportunity, especially at institutions serving students who have too often been asked to make do with less. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your presence here today. Thank you for your commitment to Black student success, not just this week, but every week, because we need you to survive. I wish you a powerful, productive, and transformative Black Student Success Week. Thank you all.
Please give it up to Dr. Pollard. We are in awe of you. We are grateful to you. Thank you for these words. I just have to highlight a couple of things that you said that I want to ensure our audience made note of. Don't just support students, but believe in them.
That part.
Come on now. Transfer is the access, the foundation to equity and mobility. I think I heard that.
Yes, ma'am.
And that more importantly for the students that are listening today, Dr. Pollard said, success is not an option, y'all. I'm hearing a sister of the 60s that's talking about it's time to get our business on.
That's
Thank
right.
you, Dr. Pollard. We love you. We are
Right
grateful to
back
you
at
in
you.
this
Thank
space.
you.
And to transition to hear what the student has to say, to hear the story of our students and why we do this work, we have a powerful young woman who is going to come and share her story with you. This is Shamanique Harris, an alumni of Long Beach City College, who is, in fact, a transfer student and has landed herself in the wonderful space of Coppin State University. Please welcome Shamanique Harris.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you guys so much for this opportunity, and I'm honored to be a speaker at the Black Student Success Week 2026. I am a alumni of Long Beach City College, a former ASB president and a president's ambassador, and also a transfer student attending Coppin State University in Baltimore, Maryland, which is an HBCU. If someone had told me years ago that my journey would start at Long Beach City College and I would have the opportunity to transfer to Coppin State, I wouldn't have believed them. But like many other students, my journey came with doubt, questioning, but I found a way to make through. I was able to find and build a community at Long Beach City College where I could go to the officials, faculty, and staff and say, hey, I would like to talk to you for a minute. I need some advice. And they never turned me away. I was supported. And that's what I needed, the support. For many Black students out there, I know it's hard sometimes to get the support, or students are a little bit shy, not knowing how to go ask the question or who to go and talk to. But for me, it was a little bit different. I stepped out of my comfort zone and I knocked on doors, I sent emails, I made phone calls, and I'm like, I want to be a thriving Black student. I want to be the definition of Black excellence. So on my journey at Long Beach City College, I learned how to navigate by asking questions, visiting workshops, different offices, meetings, kickoff events, learning about the culture so I could be a part of the community. The questions, they kept coming. But I stayed true to myself, to my authentic self. I believed in who I am, and I made it work. Leadership helped me a lot to build confidence while I was at Long Beach City College. Leadership is not just about a title for me. It's something that leaves a positive impact that will help other students. So I was always ready to go and serve my student, as a servant leader. My journey wasn't easy. And as I said, there was a moment of doubt, but it kept me going. I was referred to by different leadership groups, different professors recommended me to like the honors program, leadership group, and I soak it in and I was like, I'm going to give it a try. Because for us as Black people, sometimes we have those limitations in front of us, or we feel like there's barriers in front of us. But I'm here to tell you that you should give it a try. If you see an opportunity, give it a try. If it's not for you, then you'll figure it out. But don't just say you can't do it or you're not sure. At Long Beach City College, the resources were there for me. Got into student leadership as the ASB president. I was able to contribute to having 3 resolutions passed in the state of California, advocate for a lot of change on campus for students, helping students to navigate day in, day out, showing up for students, and successfully graduating Long Beach City College with great distinction and having a 4.0. Today, I am a transfer student attending the amazing Coppin State University in Baltimore, Maryland. For me, choosing to transfer to Coppin State University out of California Community College system, it was not the hardest thing. It was a smooth transition. It might seem like it's hard. I know I left from one state to the other, but it was a smooth transition with the communication from the transfer guaranteed program that we have and the prep workshops that I attend. There again, it's all about resources and the support. The resources are there. I use them, and I would love for you to use them too. I am thinking of redefining Black student success. It's all about resilience, growth, and even when things are not perfect, I want to urge you all to still continue. To every student listening today, you are allowed to grow in any space that you feel needs be. Don't let anyone ever tell you you cannot. I have been told I couldn't have gone to the places or do things, but I'm doing it right now. I'm a living testimony of Black excellence as a Black student coming from California Community College, of holding two of the highest student positions on campus, to Coppin State University, where I'm still advocating for a student as the SGA non-traditional student liaison. And right now, today as I speak, is election day for SGA, and I'm running for president. Keeping my fingers crossed, I will still continue my advocacy role here. Most importantly, I want you all to know that you have the power to declare who you are becoming. Find a person, find someone. There is someone that will support you. I remember days at Long Beach City College. I could reach out to Dr. Kirkwood, Dean Deborah, Mr. Carl, Dr. Nina, and I could say, I need to talk, because sometimes we need to talk and try to figure it out. So, message from me, I want you guys to get it. When I was there, it wasn't easy. I didn't just get everything handed to me. I was up at 7:30 in the morning. I was up till 10:30 at night if I needed to be. I showed up. I show up for my institution. I put the work in as a Black student. I want you guys to do the same. So today, declaration is that community college is powerful. Declaration is that Black student success is limitless. You can do whatever you want to do. I want to say thank you to Long Beach City College for my foundation and Coppin State University for continuing my journey as a student leader. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Shamonique. Dr. English, that was beautiful. What you think? What you think, brother?
Oh my gosh, Shamonique is definitely not the exception. Shamonique is the standard.
Come on
She
now.
is setting the expectation. Thank you so much. Good luck to you in your election, but good luck to you while you out in Baltimore representing California at Coppin State University.
There you go.
Next up, folks. Next up, Black Servingness.
Yeah, but we
got
a
poll. I'm sorry.
We have a little poll, Dr. English.
Got a poll? Okay.
Yeah. We want to get your audience, and we want to get the audience involved in this year's Black Student Success Week. So we got a little something different from you. So those of you who have been with us a few years, this is going to be brand new. We need to get your thoughts. Here's our first poll of several polls, 2 polls that we'll run today. This first one is, where is your institution's journey toward Black servingness? Where is your institution's journey towards Black servingness? There are 5 options. And I'm assuming the team has got something coming up here. There we go, day 1 poll. 5, we're there. The whole institution is on board. 4, we're close, just a little room to improve. 3, we got some room to grow. We got to do some things. 2, we got a lot of room to grow. one. We're just starting out, haven't started a darn thing. Please take a minute and vote. We're going to take 30 seconds, Dr. English, so we can move on with our agenda for the day.
For
30
sure,
seconds.
for sure, for sure.
Do your vote. Please, please, please take the poll for us today. Let us know where your institution's journey is towards Black servingness.
Be honest, be honest.
Be honest. Tell us the truth. Let us know what's happening. All right, we see y'all. We see y'all. We see y'all. We see something happening here on the polls. We see something happening here. Well, Dr. English, I think you got next.
Thank you, Helen.
As the poll information comes up, we'll share it after your panel. I'm gonna move out the way.
Thank you so much, Dr. Young. Please check the chat for the articles on Black servingness. Please check the chat for the articles for Black servingness. Curry, Harris, and Wood offered 5 indicators of what servingness may look like at BSIs. First indicator, mission, leadership, and commitment. Second, representation and belonging. Third, institutional accountability and effectiveness. Fourth, curriculum and co-curricular programs. Fifth, and last but not least, support and wellness. I have the pleasure of facilitating our panel, our president's panel. First up, I'd like to introduce Dr. Stacy Pfluger, President, Bakersfield College. Then I have Dr. Kimberly Rogers, President, Contra Costa College. Third, we have Chancellor Dr. Alberto Roman. Next, we have Dr. Luke Wood, President, Sacramento State University. And I forgot, please forgive me, Chancellor Roman is the chancellor of the biggest district, LA Community College District. So, first up, Dr. Wood, I have you first, sir. I have you first. First question comes to Dr. Wood. What does it mean to move from designation to declaration at your institution?
Well, first of all, thank you all for having me. It's good to see everybody. Moving from, and I would say actualizing the Black Serving Institution designation was something that began long before we had a designation as a Black Serving Institution. So I came to Sacramento State in 2023, so about 3 years ago. And at that point in time, the Sacramento State had the largest population of Black students, and I'll go into that in a second, in public higher education among four-year colleges and universities. But we were in the bottom quartile in terms of success. And having been a student who went to Sacramento State myself, I can tell you that far more Black students have been failed by the university and then have been supported. And so part of the reason that I wanted to be at the institution, the whole reason for wanting to come back was to make sure that we created a justice-based environment that was really focused on serving the students and meeting them where they're at. And so we've done that in a number of different ways. First, we worked with the state legislature to gain a recognition as a Black serving institution before there was the actual state designation. So we actually were honored by the Legislative Assembly with that recognition. And that set into motion a number of different efforts that we were already working on. But what it really came down to is recognizing that we have systems within our university that are broken. And so I don't spend time trying to fix broken systems. We create new ones so we don't have to deal with the broken systems. So one of the first things we did was we created what's called the Black Honors College. So basically, for those of you who are familiar with an honors college, it's an honors college model, but specifically designed for students who are interested in learning about Black history, life, and culture. And so we started out with 80 students in what is a general education pathway. So their first 2 years are taught in the Black Honors College. Imagine your history class, your sociology class, your math class, all of your GE, but taught from a Black studies perspective with faculty members who've been hand selected based upon a demonstrated record I'll say that again, a demonstrated record of success in serving Black students. We also have minor pathways, and they only have three choices. You can either do healthcare and aging as a minor, you can do real estate and land use development as a minor, or you can do artificial intelligence management, because we're trying to make sure that our students, no matter what field they go into, they have the necessary skills to be able to create upward socioeconomic mobility for themselves and for their families. We then went and started building out a whole social life infrastructure around it, supporting our Divine Nine on campus, right? Our Black fraternities and sororities. We have a university sponsored drumline. We have a university sponsored majorette team called the Stingerettes. We have all these things that we're doing to try to create a campus culture and community. And I'm proud to say that we have, as a result of these successes, the Black Honors College in September will now be 1,000 students. That's how much we've grown in 2 years. And in terms of our total Black student enrollment, we're now at 3,855 Black students. To put that in context, our Black student population since I've been president has grown by 25%. And it's all by doing one thing, being proud and bold and saying that we are going to be the Black serving institution, the North Star of the West. And also capitalizing on the fact that there's a lot of universities out there that give lip service to Black students, that want to put them on their brochures and on their websites, but don't want to actually do the work. And the students see through that. So we get a lot of people who transfer from other universities once they go and they see what we're doing here at Sacramento State. So that's what I would say it means to do it.
Dr. Wood, thank you so much. And if I may, Dr. Rogers, same question. What does it mean to move from designation to declaration at your institution?
Well, for Contra Costa College, designation for us is simply about the numbers. Do you have the numbers to show that you're serving a certain amount of students? And for designation, for me, it's about saying with your whole chest, these are the folks that we need to serve. We are proud to serve Black students. We are proud, this is part of our core institutional identity. Many years ago, before I came to Contra Costa College, perhaps as much as 40% of our student body was Black identified. Now that number is closer to 13 or 14%, just because of demographic shifts and just how things have gone here in the East Bay. So for me, it's really important that this community have a sense of belonging. Because one thing I learned when I moved here is that there was a sense of loss. There was a sense that, we used to have courses, we used to have a learning community, and that's now gone. And for me, it was important to look at what was here and to really kind of rebuild that. And I came during the pandemic, and there had been a kind of Black learning community, and that had been paused. And so while a lot of our communities, we have Puente Mas, we had a lot of learning communities for other folks. For me, it was important to really kind of rebuild something for Black students. And so while there was absolutely no funding available because we don't have an immersion program, at least not yet, we were able to put something together called the Black Experience. So we had an English faculty and a math faculty really come together and really pair those courses for Black students. So they were able to build that community. We were able to get our Black Student Union group going again. We were able to really build that sense of community while providing instruction that was culturally affirming. So for me, that's really what it's about, having that declaration that we see you, we know what you need, and we want to be sure that we're serving that experience for you, not just to get you in and out of the college. Of course, we want you here, we want you to succeed academically, but we also want to feed your soul. I went to predominantly white institutions. I know a lot of what I missed just being a student in that environment. So we want our Black students to feel not only welcome, we want them to feel like they're at home so they can have that experience, bring in other Black students, and know that they're faculty that they can go to. They're classified professionals, they're managers. But we also don't want that responsibility to rest with the 2 or 3 Black faculty that we have. The entire college should be Black serving, not just 3 or 4 faculty who represent them. And I would also like to add, you fund what you value and you value what you fund. And so for us, putting those resources there, I think has been critical for us to show that we're moving towards that Black serving declaration, not just designation. And I would really like the state of California to really put their money where their mouths are. Because as the federal government has really stopped all funding of MSIs, given that we as the state have stepped up to say it's really critical that we support Black students, I really hope the state steps in and says the work that you're doing is foundational to Black success, not just in colleges, but in the economy as well in California. So I would love to see someone kind of continue to throw down that gauntlet and ask them to fund us as sectors, not just as the community college, but as post-secondary education in the state.
Thank you, Dr. Rogers. This next question we would like to direct to Chancellor Romano. Dr. Pfluger, we've got this next one for you. How are you translating your vision for Black Servingness outcomes, and how do you know it's working? Ladies first, Dr. Romano. There we go.
Thank you. At Bakersfield College, we have a pretty robust system for using data, but I think that's key to all of this. To know how it's working, you have to look at the numbers and you have to be intentional on how you look at them and make sure that we're looking at things disaggregated with lots of different population factors. And we do that on a regular basis. But I think the biggest thing that we do is we keep students front and center in the work that we do. And that's sometimes students as a whole, and that's sometimes looking at students that may not be completing at the same rates or other factors, right? Like Dr. Rogers said, you fund what you value and you value what you fund, and you have to be conscious. What I say many times is we have to look in the mirror and see exactly where we are, and then we also have to think about what we want to be. And when those two things don't align, you have to be very intentional about the changes that you make and the programming that you offer to be able to move the needle and really provide more equity and outcomes. And that's a lot of what we're doing. And some of that is around creating a culture of belonging. Some of it is about introducing pathways and making sure students can see themselves on pathways to success. We recently lost a pathway to Morehouse School of Medicine. But we've got a lot of other opportunities as well for students. We take transfer trips so students can explore the world of HBCUs because they do offer a lot of benefits that you may not see if you haven't been outside of California, since there's not so many of those institutions on the West Coast. There's a lot of opportunities and we want to make sure our students see it, but we also are truly focused on what does success look like for all of our different student demographics. And if we are seeing things that aren't equitable, then being really intentional about how we address those and making sure that the faculty see this as well, because it's not one part of the college. I think it's easy to rely on things like Emoja and Amend and some of our student support services, and that's certainly a piece of it, but it is a whole college effort, and we certainly want to look at it from that lens as well.
Chancellor Roman, please share your thoughts.
Thank you again, and thank you for this opportunity, by the way. I'm honored to be with such a distinguished panel and all of you. Look, LACCD, for us, translating vision for Black servingness into measurable outcomes really begins with a critical shift that has to move us from intention to accountability. We have been stuck on intention for quite some time, colleagues. For the first time, LACCD is launching what we call a district-wide initiative. We call it One District, One Vision, Student Success. And we have a clear focus here on eliminating equity gaps. This means for us moving from the broad goals that we have been working on to really disaggregating data and establishing specific benchmarks for Black student success across all of our indicators. Our colleagues have already talked about a lot of these, but to me, they're absolutely vital if we want to talk about Black student success. That includes access, retention, course success, completion, and transfer. Look, for me, Black student success does not happen if students are not completing. Black student success does not happen if students are not transferring. And Black student success does not happen if our students are not graduating. One student's failure is one too many. So the launch of this initiative will be in the fall. we're very excited because we're setting benchmarks that will really measure on an annual basis any progress we make. And as part of this vision, we're building a culture of continuous measurement, and we're tracking that progress in real time and asking very critical questions that some of my colleagues have already asked. One is, are Black students persisting at higher rates? Are Black students completing, and are we eliminating equity gaps or narrowing those equity gaps? Are Black students experiencing a strong sense of belonging on our 9 campuses? We are aligning resources with priorities, and it's been said, show me your budget and I'll show you what your priorities are. We're asking our colleges to demonstrate how their budgets and their plans directly support closing equity gaps for Black students. If equity is going to be a priority for us, it must be visible. It must be visible in how we invest our dollars. I'm looking at increasing financial support from the district for Moja programs at each of our campuses. In addition, we are leveraging state block funding. And my expectation is that these funds will directly be used to help our Black and Brown students and other students of color. And look, I know this initiative's working. When those outcomes improve, that's how we know it's working. And when our students tell us they feel seen, they feel supported, and they feel empowered to succeed. We know our students come from communities that have been historically underserved. We know for many of them, they're the first in their family to go to college. And we know that our students have faced many barriers that other students didn't have to endure. So look, we ultimately know that Black servingness is defined by results. LACCD is committed to this. We have a new vision, and we're looking forward to expanding upon it in the fall of 2026.
Thank you, thank you, thank you to our president's panel. With that, we'd like to see the poll results of our first poll. Let's go to our poll results, Dr. Young.
All right, it looks like it's a 54% at level 3. We've got some room to grow. And 38% and 36% at level 2. So, Dr. English, I think we got some work to do across the state. Only 9% are at a level 5.
Yes, yes, definitely. Once again, I wish we had more time with our president's panel. The Black Hour is only 1 hour, 60 minutes. So with that, I like to pass it to my homegirl from Pomona, Dr. Huffman, and to Mr. Kemp.
Thank you, Dr. English, and thank you, Dr. Young, and to our amazing speakers and panelists. Thank you for your leadership, your truth, and all the responsibility that you're carrying to advance this work. Carl, are you in the building too? I see you, Carl.
Yeah, but my video is disabled. I guess my hair is not right, but I'm here with you in spirit.
All right.
And voice.
Okay, so let's go ahead and ground this as we transition, just to realize that Black servingness is not a label, it's a practice. And so with that, that's going to show up how we prioritize what we do in our work, but also who we center and how we hold ourselves accountable. So we want to hear from you. We have another poll that we're going to share, and we want you to actually tell us the truth, the authentic truth. What are you going to do in terms of the next poll that we're sharing? Thank you. So poll 2, of the following, which is most important as the action for your institution? What must you prioritize in the next 6 months in the spirit of Black servingness? And so we'll give you a few moments to gather that, but also we're going to move forward because we have another practitioner panel that we want to get into now. So as we move from vision to action, I have the honor of introducing 2 of the leaders that we're going to be highlighting in our next panel. So first we have William Franklin, the Vice President of Student Affairs from Cal State University Dominguez Hills, and Keenan Giles, EOPS Counselor, Associate Professor of San Bernardino Valley College. And I believe you also are our PD practitioner for faculty out there, so thank you. And then Carl.
And we have Ryan Granados, the Director of Academic of the Academic Resource Center at Loyola Marymount University, and Takia Jackson, the Director of Thriving. I love that title. The Director of Thriving, African American Thriving Initiatives at UC Berkeley.
And so we're going to open it up with the very first question. And I would like Keenan to kick us off, if you don't mind. So question number one, from your vantage point as a practitioner, what does Black servingness look like in action, not in theory, but in the day-to-day student experience?
I don't want to repeat much of what was said already, but I have to in this instance. From the student perspective, it was stated that it looks like comfort. It looks like a comfort zone. It looks like support. It looks like relationships. It looks like having that someone that they can turn to. It looks like having safety in a space to explore, whether that's exploration of interest or whether that's an exploration of self. I think that that's what it looks like. It should look easy for students, but we all know looks are deceiving. So the look for the practitioner should be, in all honesty, the toughest look. But being a part of this group, being a part of this movement should make it easier. We're still trying to figure it out. I won't sit here and be remiss and say that we've got it figured out. We're still trying to figure it out. But what I do know is I'm hearing bits and pieces from other institutions that provide an excellent reference point to now be able to go back to our leadership and use that as a point of reference to, again, argue and put things in place that will best serve our students.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Maybe William Franklin, would you like to share out for question number one?
Yeah, Keenan is spot on. I think like Dr. Luke Wood said, we began, this is pre-designation. The BSI designation is just that, it's a designation, but it's not a declaration, and the work does not start with the declaration. So with the designation, we started back in 2022, because there's a president at the time that said this needs to be a priority. And we pulled together a working group. And that working group was just not, because sometimes it's about labor and it's about workload. And sometimes Black labor is overlooked. And so we decided to make sure that when we put our Black student success work group together, that it would include, and I want to shout out my partner, Dr. Bobby Porter, who's our vice president of BEIJ here. And we still use those 4 terms here at Dominguez Hills. We put the enrollment manager, Dr. Brandon, on. We made sure that we had the dean of education on. We made sure that we had the president's chief of staff on board. We made sure that, so that we wanted to make sure that we built Black student success into the fabric of what we did. And it wasn't just a thread that was hanging, and that it needed to be, sometimes it's about financial resources. I'm not disputing that, but it's also about human resources and making sure that people who are connected to this vision and connected to this space is going to help us add to the fabric of what we're trying to do. And so it absolutely has to, if Black student success is not being talked about at the cabinet level, then I'm not sure it's being rooted and grounded in the work that's necessary and that's needed. And yeah, you show me your budget, you'll share your values, but if it's valued, you're going to make the investment, not just the financial resources, but of time, talent, and attention of those folks who are making things happen at that university. And we have that here at Dominguez Hills. So when the designation came, when you're ready, you don't have to get ready. When the designation came, we were ready because we had been at this for some time and creating a culture and making students feel like they belong, that they're being heard, and that they're being seen, and that they're being valued. And so Keenan really hit the nail on the head. And we try to, at Dominguez Hills, take it a step further. And looking forward to being in community with this panel to have more conversations around this.
Thank you for that. And I just want to acknowledge that, it's not easy, but it's necessary, especially for those who are in cabinets outside of a place like Dominguez Hills, for example, where you might not have the assumption of Black servingness to, if you're Black and in cabinet, to continuously bring that to the fore for conversation and zeroing in on. I want to go to our other 2 panelists to respond to what will be our last question. We're a little bit pressed for time, and I think this question is a solid question to end on. What specific practices or interventions have you seen that make the most meaningful difference in outcomes for Black students? And why do you think they work?
I'll chime in, and I want to thank you all for having me. While I am the representative from Loyola Marymount University, so that's the one private college that has recently leaned into this designation, I do think it would be prudent for me to share that my entire professional career was rooted in a commitment to the California Community College. And so much of my leadership style is born from my experience as a tenured English professor at Golden West College. And I feel that I bring a lot of that to the places and the spaces that I'm experiencing here at LMU. I find that Black servingness is rooted in the belief that you can't be what you can't see. So there's really no pedagogy or methodology that can replace the relational impact of having an open door, a listening ear, a willingness to be both a mirror and a window for our students. In a very practical day-to-day matter, we've changed spaces on the campus. I'm also an alum of LMU, and so from the years of 1996 to 2000, when I graduated as LMU's first ever Black valedictorian, we had a space that was essentially the bird's nest, but we've since redesignated that space as the Mbangi spot. We've had a program called TLC that also started in 1996. And now 20 plus years later, we're still bringing Black students on campus in the summer, creating that bridge, making sure that they get those additional access points and building that community from within. As a predominantly Black institution, I see my role as an opportunity to show, a predominantly white institution as a Black face in a predominantly white institution. I see my role as an opportunity to show Black students the full magnitude of their academic capacity. So since I do work in research and academic engagement, I am often creating a roving library of literature for Black students where they'll find information here in my space or in my classroom as an extension of what they might be able to access in the library. I strive to remind students that they are the most powerful and primary source of their story. And so we're working a lot in the areas of research to show students that in addition to citing sources and standing on the backs of those who came before them, in a very practical way, they can access their own authorial voice, making sure that they're publishing, making sure that they're sitting on panels, and making sure that those students that are transferring from the community college represent exactly what I know the California community colleges can do, some of our most strong and successful students here at LMU. So in a practical way, creating spaces, being a face, having an open door, a listening ear, making sure that they have access to research, scholarship, creative practices, bridge programs, increasing intersectional support, identifying those students that sit at the intersection of disability as well, and providing career readiness through a village-minded type mentorship.
Thank you so much for that. And then, Taki, if you could just, wrap us up here, what have you seen work most meaningfully?
Yeah, I would say what I've seen work at UC Berkeley is really being intentional about creating spaces where students can find community. At UC Berkeley, we're at 4.1% of Black students on the campus. And so most of the day, students will not see themselves reflected in the spaces that they're in, and we do not have a critical mass. So we really have focused on creating multiple spaces. I know a lot of campuses create a Black resource center, but we don't want that to be the only space people can find community. So on our campus, we have an African American Student Development Office, as well as an African American Thriving Initiatives Office. For students, we have the Fannie Lou Hamer Black Resource Center, which was opened in 2017. We average over 700 student logins a month for students that are coming in. Some of them are repeats. And that space has a study lounge. It has a multi-purpose facility where students can study, build community, host programs. Student orgs hold their meetings there. We have a theme program called the Afro Floor, where first-year students can live in community together. We are the largest theme program on campus. We have 85 first-year students that live in community together, as well as take a seminar weekly. We have a reading room and study lounge in the African American Studies office where students can go there. We also have a graduate space called the Inclusive Excellence Hub where Black students can go and get the same services that we have at Fannie Lou Hamer Black Resource Center. We also have a very student-involved model that we use on our campus. It's called the Triad, and what that is our BSU leadership, our Black Recruitment and Retention Center leadership, and then our African American Student Development leadership. These are all students. They are in a leadership group that we form and train to meet twice a year with the chancellor and the cabinet in partnership. So we share the Black agenda there, and the students hold the campus accountable to the Black agenda and what that is. And instead of it being a tense relationship, we've moved it into a partnership. And how can we do this together? What are the barriers? How can we move forward? That also is a leadership class. So on our campus, student leadership is really big in the Black community. Out of my 9 years on campus, 5 out of those 9 years, we've had a Black student campus president. And I don't think that's by accident or coincidence. Other opportunities that we provide are Beyond Berkeley, which is an HBCU exchange program, as well as a Ghana study abroad program, because we think it's really important for students to get out into the community beyond Berkeley. We also have a Black Public Arts Initiative where we want Black students to see themselves reflected in the campus, in every corner of the campus. So we have ongoing projects all over the campus where you're going to see Black public arts happening. And then someone mentioned the village earlier. We have the concept of the village, which is the idea of creating conditions for students to thrive by creating capacity for the work, right? Someone mentioned earlier that Black people do all the work and we hold so much work. And we want to lead in a healthy way. And so we've created a village where we have created positions to serve almost every need that the students have. We have 9 staff dedicated to Black students, specifically Black students in the village. And so that's a model that we've used. And I would say the last thing that I would share is that we've helped the campus realize that it's not only the Black practitioners' work on campus to do the work and to hold the work. I think that's been a model that campuses have been comfortable with for far too long. And when I first started, we were doing so well that people were kind of like, well, Takia and her team has it. Like, let them keep doing the work. You're doing great and cheering us on. And I'm like, oh, no, we don't have it. Like, we all have to have it. Like, it's your job, too, to make Black students thrive. So we've been kind of on a campus tour, working with different departments and programs, helping them understand that in order for Black students to thrive, everybody has to see it as their responsibility, threaded through our whole campus. So we've been doing partnerships across campus where the campus is now taking accountability. Not the whole campus, but we are moving one space at a time to make sure that that happens. So that's what I've seen work, and I think that's probably why we are a Black serving institution at this point. And but again, like Keenan said, we're just getting started.
Well,
Moving.
thank you so much, Takia. Thank you so much. That was amazing. I just want to take note of time. I don't mean to cut anybody off, but I do want to honor and respect the fact that you all have shown us clarity. You're showing us what change looks like when you're actually doing the work. And so now it's about alignment and making sure that our actions here in the California Community College system is what we say we want it to be, right? We want to hold value to what we're doing. And it's now my honor and privilege to introduce our closing speaker, Dr. Edward Bush, the president of Consumnes River College, a leader with over 30 years in higher education and 27 years in the California Community College system, and the co-founder and board president of Amend. So without further ado, Dr. Bush, please bless the mic for us.
Thank you. Before I start, just want to shout out CRC, the students that are watching, and our staff and faculty that are watching from the Black Empowerment Center. Blessings to you all. The idea, a notion presented us today around the theme from designation to declaration is profound and deeply culturally significant for African people. A declaration in African culture is a culture, political, and spiritual act. It is a way to declare who you are, what you stand for, and what you demand, whether in the context of cultural preservation, political independence, human rights, or international solidarity. It is a moment of collective affirmation that can inspire action, shape policy, and affirm dignity. It is so profound that the idea of declaration existed within the earliest constructs of African spiritual framework and Kemet are in ancient Egypt as articulated in the book of Coming Forth by Day by Dr. Malalona Karinga. There's this idea of the Declaration of Innocence, also known as the negative confessions. These were essential part of ancient African religious practices. It consisted of a list of 42 sins or offenses that the deceased would assert that they have never committed during their lifetime. They recited this in the presence of Asur or Osiris, and 42 defined divine judges during their judgment as they transition to the afterlife. This ritual was intended to demonstrate the soul's moral integrity, adherence to ma'at, which is the principle of truth, justice, balance, and cosmic order. The primary purpose of the Declaration of Innocence was to ensure that the soul could successfully pass the judgment and gain access to paradise. Failure to provide innocence can result in severe consequences, including annihilation. The confession reflected deeply African or Egyptian values, emphasizing ethical behavior, honesty, and social responsibility. It was not merely a list of prohibitions, but a moral guide illustrating that behaviors considered unacceptable, such as murder, theft, lying, or being sullen and untruthful. For example, these confessions consisted of I have not committed sin or transgression. I have not committed theft. I have not slain men or women nor caused destruction. I have not taken food from the mouths of the hungry. Have not caused pain, fear, or despair in any living soul. I have not acted deceitfully nor used false measures. As classified professionals and faculty, as administrator, policymakers, by the nature of our job, we are placed in a profession where the well-being and livelihood of other human beings is under our care. Therefore, given that responsibility, we are being judged and will be judged of how we have treated them. The question is, when we stand before judgment, what declarations of innocence that we will be able to say? Could you stand before your creator? Would you be able to stand, for that matter, in front of Black students who did not persist from the fall semester to the spring? To those Black students who were dropped for non-payment? To the Black students who were enrolled in class with the professor knowing that they failed 75% of their Black students? The Black students who can't graduate because they haven't passed math? The Black students who can't afford to buy their books because they have to pay rent? The Black students who have been in our colleges for 2 to 3 years and have never had a class with a Black professor, nor have been involved in a course that has centered the experiences of Black students, and they leave here knowing less about themselves before they entered. Would you be able to stand in front of the Creator and declare your own declarations of innocence? I have not caused or perpetuated harm on Black bodies and minds. I have not been complicit in perpetuating institutional racism and anti-Blackness. Have not allowed my paycheck to keep me in check and from calling out injustices from fear losing my job or promotional opportunities. Can you say that I have not waited until I get tenure to speak out at my department meetings? I have not allowed the fear of being labeled as the angry Black man or Black woman to move me to silence. I have not caused harm, participated in gossip that has ruined the reputation of another Black colleague. I have not been a hater. I have not grown weary in well-doing. I have not failed to see the brilliance and beauty of Black students. I have not given up on the idea that I can be the person that changes everything at my college or in my organization to make a difference for Black students. I have not allowed this current federal administration to stop me from speaking truth to power and for standing up for what is right. Therefore, I have not taken down one web page, changed the name of one program, stopped going or sending my staff to any conferences, stopped allocating not even one penny for programs that specifically serve Black students or for any other group that this administration is attempting to erase. Today, on April 20th, 2026, I declare, I decree, I affirm that Black students are worthy of my time, worthy of my energy, worthy of my sweat, tears, care, prayers, sacrifice, and my love. I declare, decree, and affirm that as a leader of a Black serving institution, that I have a higher responsibility and calling to create space where Black students don't just survive, but thrive, to succeed because of us and not in spite of us. I declare, I decree, I affirm the infinite potential, genius, brilliance, intellect, and excellence of Black students. Therefore, if they do anything other than passing their courses, transferring to their college of choice, graduate with a high earning job and career, then it is not their fault, but mine and my college alone. Ashe, I declare and I decree the greatness and brilliance of Black people. Peace.
Thank you, Dr. Bush. Thank you to all of our speakers, all of our panelists, every single person who's on today's call. We realize that we're at time, so I just want to kindly remind you that we do have our Black Hour session happening tomorrow. It's going to be about ROI and economic mobility. We also have our next events coming up. We have the after party. That link is in the chat. It's happening now as we conclude. We have all types of things happening on social media. We have the student hour in the evening. We have the sneaker balls happening, the HBCU transfer, the HBCU transfer grant. We have ADAS 2026. We have a lot of things going on. So please come back so that we can share with you tomorrow, right? Thank you all for your time today. We'll see you tomorrow. And thank you, President Dr. Bush. You are amazing. And everyone else that was here today. Y'all take care and we will see you tomorrow.
Not just for the appearance of your image, but for that soul reflection you want in the mirror. My journey has taken me from the dark cell to selling my books for others that live in hell. You see, when you live in your past, that's depression. Anxieties are worrying about all your future obsessions. So stay in the here and now. It will elevate your vibrations to move your mind, body, and spirit in the right direction. Yeah, come and experience that bath of healing sound to start cleaning that pain that you've been feeling. Find that frequency of your tonal center. Let me tune your keys so you can hear a little clearer. You gotta practice journaling your story to relieve your worry. So standing on that business of your freedom glory. Soul spirit healers, soul spirit healers, soul spirit healers. Our love is one. Soul spirit healers, soul spirit healers, soul spirit healers. Our love is one.
I am different, I am free, I am all that I'm meant to be. I am fun, I am divine, I am living this life that's spirited, filled with hope. I am wealthy, I am patient, I am balanced in alignment. I am assertive, I am sure, I am protected, I endure. I am amazing, I am strong, I am joyful where I belong. I am unique, I am loved, I am guided from above. I am unstoppable, I am